Let's go. All right. So, I'm sorry, what did we say that we plan to do? Was it evidence on Thursday and then analysis on Friday, or are we planning to do both together?
So I was looking at what would align with like the gen ed the agenda that the gen ed class has.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to make that decision right now. Do you have any input of what like has worked with you in the past? Because I know that like you have taught this exact thing before and I'm new at it. So do you have any advice for me?
Yes, ma'am. My advice would be to do the collecting of evidence on Thursday and then do the analysis on Friday. And the reason why I say that is because typically with analysis, that will come with different questions that a student has to answer in order for them to be able to create a thorough analysis.
Mm-hmm.
And doing it on Friday will give you time to like work with your team to come up with questions that they feel that they deem is necessary for a student to be able to thoroughly create an analysis. What do you think about that?
I definitely agree. I guess I should provide a little bit more background of like what we've been doing. So we have collected a giant body of evidence.
Okay.
So the first thing we did was research question. So we focused on a research question, and it ties back to social justice and environmental justice as well. So it's really aligned to RISE and our intercession week. So it's super cool. It's a way to like keep that going. So we did a few days on research question.
Yeah.
And then we did a whole week of gathering evidence. So they actually have a large body of evidence to choose from.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like they have already done the research portion of it, and they have gathered at least 5 websites and pulled out quotes from the website that they would like to use. So that part's like, I'd say 90% of the way done.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of cool. So where we're at is really doing that whole like, all right, I have this evidence. I'm going to make a claim off this evidence, and then how does it connect to the thesis?
Yes.
So that's what we're working on, and I do believe it will take the 2 days for them to at least to produce 2 solid body paragraphs, even though they have collected all this evidence. Again, the supports we'll have in place are like sentence stems and a frame for a body paragraph, as well as an exemplar and a criteria for success. So with all of that support, we really are working on just building out that body paragraph because they have done a lot of the work already.
Well, I guess since they have done a lot of work with collecting evidence, I think the focus should be probably on the analysis part. What students tend to forget about is, one, the analysis is just your opinion of the evidence, right, essentially, and then forgetting to state how it ties back to the claim.
Right, okay. Let me take some notes on that, actually. Body paragraph. Sorry, would you mind repeating just like some key things from what you just said? So analysis, for sure.
Yeah, the analysis portion is basically the student's opinion of the evidence. What does it mean? Then they can talk about how it relates to them, because it is like a personal research, something that they were interested in and something that they wanted to study. And then the other piece for the analysis is how does it tie back into the thesis? What does this mean for the thesis?
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, analysis is very difficult because it's a higher level thinking process, and for some of our kids, since they're more so like literal or concrete learners, it's very hard for them to be able to be abstract.
Right.
So just being able to focus on their opinion. Sometimes they're not even able to like focus their opinion. Not focus, but be able to develop an opinion about something. They have an opinion, but it's not really like thought out a lot. I think the highest leverage would be if you all don't have a criteria for success right now for analysis, being able to create that so that it can be like really, really specific for students.
Cool. So CFS.
Oh yeah. Because it's a very abstract concept, and the more specific it can be in this abstractness, I don't even know if that's a word. The more specific it is, the better that students will be able to demonstrate proficiency on that particular part of the paragraph.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. So we do already have one exemplar, and it is like very tied to personal interest for, I'd say, 8 of the 15 that I'm supporting right now.
Yeah.
So would you recommend me maybe pulling out some different exemplars for people that maybe aren't interested in football, because our exemplar is about football right now, and the ones that are into football are like, oh, let's go, let's like let's dig into it, right? But the ones that are like, I don't really care about football, like, are kind of like, I don't care about writing this paper either. So like, would you recommend me finding like some different exemplars for those that maybe aren't so engaged by that?
I absolutely would agree that having some different types of exemplars would be beneficial, because again, like, most of our kids are really literal thinkers. So they're thinking, oh, my analysis has to be like the one that they wrote about football, but not thinking that you can transfer that information. So yeah.
Okay, I'll try that. Any other general advice or things that have worked for you in the past?
Yeah, what I noticed in the video is having everything like visual, because that's a strength of yours, to be able to make every single piece of it extremely, extremely visual. I was thinking the whole time, like, if you had that anchor chart with criteria for success and the check boxes, on the big white sheet of paper, our students will be able to follow it, because there were a few times where you had to like remind them. Yeah. And then sometimes that eats away at a lot of time, especially when we only have like 20 minutes for IIT. So having that anchor chart up and just saying, refer back to, did you do step 1, step 2? It's just like what we were talking about, how if I were to ask you to make an angel food cake and you never saw it before, and then you're just like, well, what are the steps or what I'm supposed to do? I'm just like, go ahead, make it. It is what it is. You can do it.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
Yeah, the criteria of success is kind of like that. And then with having an anchor chart and just having it visual, then you don't have to go back and forth to keep repeating what you're saying, because you don't want to eat up a lot of time. And then when they have it and it's visual and you can see it, sometimes it helps for students to be able to remember it too.
Maybe you can help me problem solve, because that anchor chart exists. It's in the classroom.
Okay.
I guess I could take it off the wall or make another one just for our small group, but I've been doing small group in the hallway recently. Come in.
Come in.
I was trying to get Malcolm's jacket.
Oh, it's right here on the door.
Oh, it's because he can't leave.
Yeah, it's all good. Thank you, my love.
Thanks, Brian.
Have a good day.
Aw, that was so cute. Okay. I don't know. Should I like make a portable one?
I would make a portable one. You know what? I had all of my, so you see this backpack right here? It has sticky notes. It has highlighters. It has like everything in here. And students love it. Like, they absolutely love it. It just makes it feel like even if we're in the hallway, this is still classroom,
Yeah.
So
that's fair.